Erev Tov Rabotai, we are continuing with our Mishna Yomi, Masechet Gittin. We're up to Perek Gimel Mishnah Chet. Today's Mishnayot should be Le'ilun Nishmat, Neria ben Svetlana, Ranbayev Eliyahu ben Burchai Israelov, Chana bat Miriam, Sason ben Raya, and Yehoshua ben Shifra, Menuchatam beGan Eden, Amen, and Abdil ben Chaim Nechaim, v'derefua shelemav, Daniel Shalom ben Rosa, betoch Shach Cholei Israel. The Mishnah presents another case of relying on chazakah and status quo to separate tiruma and maaser, the different tithe portions that we separate from produce in Eretz Yisrael. Hameneach perot liyot mafrish shalen tiruma or maaserot. If someone set aside produce in order to designate part of it from time to time as tiruma maaser for produce he has somewhere else. Now, a person sets aside in his home a certain amount of grain or fruit or vegetables that have not been tied so that he can designate portions of them as tiruma or maaser whenever he wishes to eat untithed foods of these kinds in some other place. This saves him the trouble of having to physically separate tiruma and maaser every time he wants to eat from the tevel that is with him. When he later wishes to eat, he simply says, such and such an amount of grain that is in my house is hereby designated as tiruma or maaser on the grain I have before me. That amount of grain in his house becomes tiruma or maaser, and the grain in front of him is now permissible to eat. He may continue this arrangement until all the set-aside produce has been designated as tiruma or maaser. The Mishnah continues, Ma'ot liyot mafrish and maaser sheni, or if he puts aside coins in order to designate some of them from time to time as redemption money for maaser sheni he has somewhere else. Now, maaser sheni must be eaten in Jerusalem, but the Torah gives us the option of redeeming it, meaning transferring its sanctity onto money. The produce then becomes permitted to be eaten anywhere, and in its place, the money must be brought to Jerusalem and spent on food there. In the Mishnah's case, the person put aside money to be available for redeeming his maaser sheni produce in a different location. Whenever the need arises, he can transfer his maaser sheni produce's sanctity onto these coins by saying, let this maaser sheni be redeemed onto the coins I have in my home. He may continue this arrangement until he has used up the value of all the coins he set aside. Mafrish shalen b'cheskat shen kayamin. He may continue to separate them as tiruma or maaser, or as redemption money for maaser sheni, on the assumption on the chazakah that they are still in existence, and eat the produce that he tithed or redeemed with them. The Mishnah teaches the law if he later finds that the set-aside produce or coins are gone. Im avdu, if the owner went to check on the produce or coins and he discovered that they were lost, he must be concerned that they were lost up to 24 hours earlier. Therefore, anything that he tithed within the last 24 hours using the produce he had set aside, and any maaser sheni redeemed within the last 24 hours with the coins he had set aside, must be tithed or redeemed again before it can be used, because we suspect that the set-aside produce and coins were already lost at the time he used them. These are the words of Rabbi Elazar ben Shemua. Now, in truth, the law of Chazakah tells us that the missing produce or money was not lost until just before he checked on them. However, according to Rabbi Elazar ben Shemua, the rabbis required the owner to be concerned that they were lost within the last 24 hours, but before that point, he may rely on Chazakah. Now, what Tana teaches about another requirement, the Tana teaches about another requirement for wines set aside to be used for designated tiruma and maaser. Rabbi Yehuda says, Bishlosha prakim botkin et hayayin. At 3 times during the year, we must check the wine put aside to be available for tiruma and maaser to make sure that it has not turned into vinegar. Vinegar may not be designated as tiruma or maaser for wine, as it speaks about in Masechet Tirumot, chapter 3, Mishnah 1. Bikadim shel motzei chag. Number 1, at the time the east wind blows immediately following the festival of Sukkot. Votzaat smadar. Number 2, at the time the blossoms fall off the vine and the budding grapes emerge. Ubishat knisat mayim boser. 3, and at the time that liquid develops in the unripe grapes, enough to squeeze some out. At these 3 times of the year, wine has a tendency to turn sour and become vinegar. Therefore, we do not rely on chazakah, the assumption that the wine stayed the same and did not turn into vinegar. The rabbis therefore required a person to check his wine at these times before using it for tiruma and maaser. Rabbi Yehuda agrees with the first Tana that we normally rely on chazakah, but in our case we must be concerned since wine is known to sometimes turn into vinegar at these times. And the Rav does tell us, Rabbi Yehuda, the Halacha does follow the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda, and that is then of Perek Gimel, Mishnah Chet. We continue now with Perek Daled Mishnah Aleph. When a husband sends a get to his wife, the divorce does not take effect until she actually receives the document. This Mishnah discusses ways in which a husband who sent a get to his wife with an agent can change his mind and cancel the agent's right to deliver the get before the wife receives it. Hasholech get liishto v'giya b'shaliach. If someone sent a get to his wife with an agent and then he met the agent, it was a chance meeting. The husband was not seeking the agent before the get was delivered. Or if he sent a second agent after the first agent who caught up with him before the get was delivered. And the husband or the second agent on behalf of the husband said to the original agent, the get that I gave you is void. In the first case of the Mishnah, the husband himself says this, and in the second case, the second agent says it in the husband's name. In both cases, the get is void. The original agent loses his ability to act on behalf of the husband, and even if he then gives the get to the wife, she is not divorced. The husband canceled the agent's right to represent him, and the agent's actions are therefore ineffective. The get itself, however, is still valid and may still be used by the husband to divorce his wife if he changes his mind again. Now, the explanation is that even if a husband decides not to divorce his wife, it is impossible to cancel the actual get. He can only stop his agent from representing him. Although in our case, the husband said that the get is void, which implies that he is canceling the get itself, we assume that he really meant to cancel the power of the agent, since this is the only thing that he has the power to cancel, as the Gemara explains by Masechet Gittin on page 32b with the commentary of the Ramban. Now, the Mishnah's first case, where the husband himself spoke to the agent, the Mishnah wrote this situation to teach the following point. Even if the husband did not run after the agent to stop him, but rather met him by chance, we assume that he is serious about canceling the agent's mission and is not merely trying to aggravate his wife by making her think that she is not divorced. Now, in these cases, the husband or his agent declared the get void in the presence of the original agent who had been sent to deliver the get. In the next cases, the husband or his agent makes the declaration to the wife herself. Kadam etzel ishto, if the husband went to his wife before the agent delivered the get, or if he sent an agent to his wife before the first agent delivered the get, and the husband or the second agent on behalf of the husband said to her, the get that I sent you is void, meaning, according to our explanation, the original messenger's appointment is invalid. In these cases too, the get is void. Even if she later receives it from the first agent, she is not divorced. In these cases too, the husband canceled the original's agent right to represent him, and the agent's actions are therefore ineffective. Now, the Mishnah specifies that the husband canceled the divorce in front of the agent of the wife, because the sages required the cancellation to be done in this way. The husband cannot simply declare the get void to himself or even in front of witnesses or a court. Now, up until now, the Mishnah discussed cases where the husband or his agent declared the get void before it reached the wife. The Mishnah now states the law where he made the declaration after she received it. If the get had already reached the wife's hand, the husband or his agent can no longer void it, because she is already divorced. The husband may cancel a divorce at any time before the wife receives the get, because she is not divorced until that happens. However, once she does receive the get, it is too late to do so. And that is the Nabotai of today's Mishna Yomi. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen v'amen.